Good morning, good morning, good morning. Yep, it is morning and it is a bit chilly for sure. All right, so you know that you need to say something, so I know that you're here. I know it's 10 o'clock in the mountains. And I'm sure it's 10 o'clock a lot of other places too, but it's different times in different places, right? Mountain time is what we have right here. And we are ready to roll. How are you guys all this morning? It feels like a Monday morning to me. I'm doing okay. It feels like a Monday morning though. Come on, thing. Log on. I'm waiting for all of my things to come up. Hey, Rhonda from Arkansas and Paula, good morning. I can see that there's many other people there. If you'll please say something. Remember, all you have to do is say boo. You don't have to say anything more than that. Don't feel obligated. But if you can tell me, is it a good morning? Is it a bad morning? It's always a good morning. I think mornings are pretty great. I like mornings. Hi, Debbie from Daytona Beach. Melinda. And Betty from rainy Alabama, and Rosie Pope. It's raining in Alabama? Well, I tell you, I have been traveling so much on the road again. I feel like I need to get old, what is his name? I know his name. Willie Nelson. Doesn't he sing On the Road Again? That's how I feel. So we have just been to Kentucky for Oma Darlings, and we did an event in Kentucky with Oma. They are such wonderful people. If any of you are there, give a shout out or something so I know that you're here. I tell you, they are such fun people, good down to earth, just good people. And Oma is no exception. She is just the cream of the crop. I tell you, she's a really wonderful lady. And had a good time. We sewed up lots of projects. We had lots of fun. And we learned about the applaud and the triumph and the victory and the accolade. We learned about a lot of different things. Loved it. Oh, Debbie said, it's a good morning, actually noon here on the East Coast. I knew it would be lunchtime for you. Oh, Betty said there was a tornado warning west of Alabama about an hour ago in West Alabama. Whoa. And Janet said it's a beautiful day in Orlando. And Susan says, good morning. Well, when I went to Kentucky, we flew into Nashville, and my husband went with me because we've never been to Nashville. Wanted to see what it was like. And it was so cold. We thought we were going to go into a little bit warmer weather because we've been cold here in Utah. Got into Alabama, or excuse me, I'm in Alabama with you. Got into Nashville, and it was so cold. We had to go buy beanies to cover our ears so we could even walk around. And I had to go buy a long sleeve shirt to wear underneath my 2 jackets because it was so cold, I tell you. But that only lasted a couple of days, and then it was pretty bearable. It was pretty nice. And we walked all over Nashville, had a great time, saw lots of things. I learned a lot of things. So I'm not really a country music person. I know I live in the country, but it's not really Nashville country, right? I listen to rock usually when I listen to things. So being in Nashville, I thought, what am I going to do for 2 days? Because we had 2 extra days. But we saw so much. We learned so much. And I have to show you my shirt. I'd zoom out, but I'm going to do this instead. Look at this. Can you guess where I got this shirt? Anybody guess? Anybody that's familiar with Nashville will know where this shirt came from. See if anybody is there. Anybody know? Because I'm going to tell you if you don't know. It was a really good meal we had. And yes, I ate chicken. Anybody know? It was in Hattie B's Chicken. And that was on the list of things to see and do. So my son has been there and other people have been there, and they gave me a list of things to do in Nashville. And Hattie B's was one of them. And I don't regret any moment I was there. It was so good. It really was good. Okay, are there any questions? I mean, we have talked a lot about the applaud, but really, I love the applaud. Why not talk about it? It is an amazing machine. And just being there at Oma Darlings and learning and teaching and talking about the applaud is just an easy machine to talk about. Susan, let me show you again. So they also had a chicken in cowboy boots. And they had them all rolled up, so you really couldn't even tell which chicken you were buying. And I'm kind of glad I got the tennis shoes. I think she's pretty cute. And it only rings true for me because I came home to my sweet little ladies. And yep, they're sweet. They're still alive. I didn't lose any this time. But they're still not giving eggs. They're still not. They're still kind of coming out of the molting process. Most of them have all their feathers back in. They look good because it's getting cold. They need those feathers. But it's too cold and the sun doesn't shine enough, so they really are not giving eggs, and I'm sad about that. All right, so let me tell you what we're going to talk about today. And I want you to shout out your questions if you have questions. So I'm not going to talk about the applaud today, but I tell you, if there's anything you want to know, ask. I'm going to have a class coming up in a few weeks on the applaud. So if you have an applaud and you want to learn everything, the ins and outs of that machine, we're going to have a class where we'll go do detailed close-ups, doing different steps on the machine. You'll see how to thread it. You'll see all the things you can do with it. And then we'll have a project that goes with it. So stay tuned for that. It is coming in January. We're also going to have more applaud classes because you that have your applauds really want to do projects, right? I do too. I love projects. I'm going to be working on some projects today, and I can't wait to do it. Hey, Alice, glad to see you here. Alice is in Washington, and Sheila from Georgia. I'm glad you're here. Well, let's talk a little bit. We're going to do sergers still, because you know I love my sergers. We're going to talk about doing wired ribbon on your serger. Now, the reason I want to do wired ribbon is because we are coming up a lot up on the holidays. We're in the holidays, right? And how many times do you want to make something, maybe it's a wreath or a package, and you want to put wired ribbon on it because it's so pretty when it's all bowed up, but you can't find any ribbon, right, that matches? Well, you can make your own. If you have a 4-thread overlock from Baby Lock, you can make your own wired ribbon. So let me show you what we're going to be working with here. Here's my wire. Now this wire is a 26 gauge, and I have tried using heavier wire, and sometimes I break a needle or something. So I kind of like to use this 26 gauge. You can probably do a 24, but this 26 gauge is pretty good. I mean, I bought this in, it would have been in the craft department at Walmart. You can also buy your wire in the floral department in any store, that green wire. You can use any kind of wire like that. You can even use regular in the automotive. I mean, they have it all over in different places, but this is what I used. I used copper wire, 26 gauge. And that was always a question, which gauge do I get? All right, so there's my wire. Here's my fabric. And here is the foot. And I also have my wire cutters because you don't want to cut this wire with your scissors. No way, Jose. All right, so there are my wire cutters. I also have my scissors because I will have to cut the threads. The wire cutters don't cut the threads very well. This is the elastic foot. Let me see if I can even come in closer on that. I'll probably go the wrong direction, so give me a second here. Nope, looks like that's as close as I can get. I'll come up to you. All right, this is my elastic foot. Notice that I have this little dial on the top. We're not going to mess with that dial too much. That puts tension on the elastic when you're pulling it through or sewing it down. But we're not going to worry about that too much right now. I'm going to concentrate on this little opening right here. And if you have your foot there in front of you, you can see the opening right there. And you don't even notice they're there until you want to use them, and that's great. There's also an opening back there. Okay? So you got those two openings? I'm going to turn it over because on the back, there's a channel right here. So I have two openings and a channel. And I've set my machine up for a rolled hem or a rolled edge, whichever ones you want to do. So there's my foot. Let me show you how I'm going to do this. I'm going to put the wire through the first hole, bring it out the second hole, and then when I turn it over, it's going to lay right in that channel right there. So that's how it works. And that is going to keep that wire. Isn't it really cool? I just thought of this. Sorry, I keep jumping around. But isn't it really cool that these feet come out? I mean, I'm not going to put elastic in with this. I mean, I might one day, but I can use wire or even that fishing line if you're doing a veil, or even the bottom of a skirt, or the bottom, I mean, something that you want it to be flowy. You can put fishing wire, tackle wire, that it's not wire, it's fishing string. I don't know what you call it. I'm not a fisherman. Anybody else know out there what that's called? It might have a name. I just don't know. But you can put that in the bottom of a wedding veil and it makes it flow. So it's just really beautiful. But today we're going to do wire. All right. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to thread this in before I ever get to my machine. So that's all done. And I want that to be in there. And I'm going to take a few stitches on my rolled edge. But note that when you're working with wire in that channel with the rolled edge, the wire is not being sewn down, it's being covered. So this will pull right out if I wanted it to. So you have to be really careful. Leave yourself lots of wire on the end because it might shift. You just never know. So let me go right to the machine. And I'm going to put this on. If you have questions, monofilament. Oh, Susan, that's great. Fishing line. Yep, fishing line, fishing line. But it just doesn't sound, it doesn't sound like what it looks like. So fishing line, yep, that's great. All right, so I'm going to get you steadied there. I'm going to put that right on my machine. And there I go. I am ready to go. Come on, snap down. There we go. Now I'm ready to go. And I have my now I'm going to be doing fishing line. I've got my wire hanging out the back. And if I wanted to, I could take a few stitches in this. Now I'm set up for a rolled edge or a rolled hem. It really doesn't matter which one you do. Do you remember the difference between the two? So in C, if I'm in the C setting, that means the upper looper and the lower looper are going to meet at the edge of the fabric, just like that. So you're going to see both threads. If you're down in D, that means that the upper looper is going to wrap all the way around and encase the entire stitch. So if you only want one thread to show, then make sure you go down to D. All right, if you haven't done this, you need to try it. If you have done it, give me a shout out. Tell me that you've done it and you love it. All right, I could take a few stitches in this. It won't matter. Let me show you how that works. So now I've got that wire. See how that just flows back and forth? It's not sewn down because you can't sew into wire. So all it is doing is encasing it. I can even run a leader in there if I wanted to. Now this is not going to move fast because remember, I'm in a rolled edge, which means it's putting a lot of thread down. And there I go. This is just a scrap piece of fabric. But now notice right here, I can still move that wire in and out of that fabric. It's not attached. It's only sewn around. So when you put that on something, just be aware of that, be mindful of it so that you don't accidentally pull it right out, because you pull it right out, you got to do it again. All right, let me come back over here for just a sec. All right, so this is my ribbon that I'm going to be working with. And what I did, and the pattern that I will give you today is going to have all these instructions on it. So I have cut this is just a 42-inch width of fabric, just the whole width of the fabric because I want it nice and long. I have cut angles on my ends, and I've already done a rolled edge on those ends. I'm not going to put wire in them, but I did a rolled edge because I want to be able to come back over it and not clip the wire. So that's what I've done. I've already done one edge of this wired ribbon, and once again, I've got to be careful because I can actually pull that wire right out. And I will show you on my little scrap fabric over here when I get done. All right, now I'm going to put this in here and I'm going to sew down that long edge. Has any of you guys ever done this? Hey, gal. I can see there's lots of you watching. What you need to do is say something, even if you just say boo. That puts your name up there where I can see who you are. Okay, I'm going to lift my foot up. And if I cut a little bit off, it's not going to hurt anything. All right, we're going. Now, because the wire is in those channels and through those holes, I don't really have to do a lot. I just have to kind of guide it and make sure that it's not being pulled. Because remember, I could pull it right out if I wanted to. I don't want to. And in case you're wondering, I have my differential feed on N. I have my length just right off the 1. And if you wanted to use a heavier thread in your loopers, you could. Okay, I'm just going to carefully guide it. I don't have to do anything more than that. And you might ask, have I ever broken a needle doing this? I have. But it was usually when I was using a heavier wire because I wanted a heavier look to it. So if you're using heavier wire, make sure you're careful with it. And I want this wire as straight as possible, and I'm carefully unwinding it. And if I get a kink in my wire, I really don't want that kink to go through because that kink might catch my needle. And you know, with serging, you want to have a fair amount out the back, so I just let it go. In fact, I'm going to cut it off here. And set it aside. I'm just going to let that feed out. Then I can use my scissors to cut the thread. So let's go back over here. So I have my wired ribbon all made, and there's my leader right there. Now notice that I've got that leader right. Let me cut that off. I want to show you what happens. Oh, that got my thread too. See that? This is my leader. So if I pull on that wire, look what happens. Pulls it right out. So this is not sewn down. So then I would just have a rolled edge. So that tells me I've got to be careful while I am straightening this ribbon out. I don't want to pull it because it kind of wants to get a little gather in it, and I'm going to straighten it out, and I'm holding on to the one end so that it does not pull. I've got lots of wire down on this end to work with, so I feel pretty good about pulling it that direction. All right, I've got it done. I've got that pulled straight. Now I'm ready to make a pretty bow or ribbon or whatever I want to do with this. So this is the stuff you buy in the store, right? And you buy it on the roll, but now you can make anything you want, any fabric you want, and you will have it to match whatever project you might have. I love that. I love being able to customize exactly what I'm doing. I think that's kind of fun. Has anybody ever done that before? Oh, Katrina, glad you enjoyed Nashville. I did. I did. Karen says, hi, good morning, Melissa. Sally, boo. I got my boo sign over here. I love my boo sign. I'm so glad Halloween came around at the right time. And you're probably all getting ready for Christmas, right? Who's ready? I'm not. I'm going to be. I hope by Christmas, I hope I'll be ready. I don't know. I've been traveling so much that I haven't really had time to think about it. And my traveling is not going to stop. I got a big travel in January and February and March. So our time here is going to be a little spotty here and there. So, but we'll still do things. It'll still be fun. And if you're near anywhere that we're having an event, you need to come. And if you don't have an applaud yet, that is a great time for you to try it out, see what you think. Really. Once you sit there, then you understand how it works and why it does what it does, and whether or not it's going to fit into what sewing that you have going on. I tell you, the first time I sewed on it, I thought, oh, I love this machine. I love this machine. So you might like it too. I don't know. Okay. Anybody have any questions or comments? You got to say boo. I got to have more boos, I tell you. I can see that a lot of you are watching, but I haven't seen enough boos. Someone asked, someone did have a, Sarah said she's watching and prepping customer needlework for custom framing. Woo, hey Melissa, boo to you too. The boo buddies, that's what we need to be, is the boo buddies instead of sewing buddies. We're the boo buddies. Hey Susan. Yep. I don't know why. Boo just came to my... In fact, when the kids are around here in my house, they sneak... I get startled really easy, and they even come around the corner. If I'm deeply involved in something, maybe this happens to you, I'm deeply involved, and anybody even walks past, it startles me. It's just the way it is. And so they think it's funny. So one day, I said boo to them. And so now that's all they say to me in the house is boo. Boo, boo. So having you guys say boo makes me feel right at home. What is the maximum size ribbon you can use? Katrina, you can use any width of fabric you want. So this was about 2 inches because that's about what I would buy in the store. But you could have it any width you wanted. The thing you have to watch is how wide, what the gauge on your wire is. Because you don't want to get a real heavy gauge. You may think, well, I want to have this ribbon so it's really stiff. Well, you'll see that you'll have really stiff ribbon even with the tinier gauges. So this one, what did I say? It was a 26? I think I said it was a 26. I've moved things around here. But I think it's a 24 or 26. Either one of those are really good sizes to have. I wouldn't go heavier but you can use floral wire. You just kind of try what you've got first. There, I have some very heavy wire and I cannot use it in here. So that's what I like to do. Hey, Faith, boo to you too. Debbie says 26. That's what I showed you. Oh, found it. My hand was in the way. It is a 26, but I can also use a 24. 24, anyway, they're all going to work. Just be careful when you're doing it that you don't pull the wire out of the casing that you're creating. So you're creating a casing with that rolled edge or rolled hem. It doesn't matter which one you use. But that casing, that wire will just pull right out. And on the ends right here, I have left plenty there. And I am going to put some fray check or some super glue gel. I like to use super glue gel because it's more permanent. The fray check isn't strong enough for me, I don't really think. But right here, I would probably cut my wire, put some fray check on it, or some super glue gel to hold that edge of my ribbon. And that's all I'm going to do. And then I'm going to tie it in a bow or whatever I want to do with it. I'm kind of excited. You can put bows on your Christmas tree, right? You see that all the time. So, in fact, I would love it if each of you would take a picture of your Christmas tree and post it here. Stick it on here. Let me see what your trees look like. Or create a new post on the Buddies page. Let me see what your trees look like. This is the time to do it. I love Christmas. It's beautiful. It's beautiful out here. We don't have any snow. It's cold, but we don't have any snow. We had a little bit of snow fell, but it's gone. In fact, when we were in Nashville, a little bit of snow fell, just a little bit. And then Oma called me and said that they were getting snow in Hartford, Hartford, Kentucky is where she was. They were getting snow there. But when I got there, it was all gone. And Nashville just had a little bit coming down. It didn't stick. It just came down. Kind of fun, kind of beautiful. It always is. That first snow is beautiful. And then by the time it turns dirty and it's been there too long, you think, why can't this snow go away, right? That's how I feel. All right, any questions? You're going to all go out and make some wired ribbon, right? You know, you just kind of strip off that bolt of fabric that you have, that's your Christmas fabric, or even Valentine's Day, anything else you want to do. If you're making a wreath for every month of the year, now you can have your wired ribbon match your wreath. And nobody will be able to get that ribbon. They'll say, where'd you get that? I want some of that. You say, aha, I made it. Yes, I did. I made it. Oh, well, okay, I think I'm done for the day. So I'm going to let you go so that you can make your wired ribbon, and I'm going to go make some applaud projects. I'm so excited. I love it. I love it. And if you're just getting your applauds now, enjoy it. Get it out of the box. Try it. Play with it. Test the different things it will do. Test some different projects. Test different techniques in your machine. In fact, do that with all your machines. You know, find out all the things you can do with it, because why have it and not use it? You got to use it. All right, Melissa, you have a great day too. Everybody have a great day. It's Tuesday. You got the whole week ahead of you. So make it count, right? Make it count. All right, I will see you guys on Thursday for Buddy Chat. Yes, I'll be here. Thursday at 5 o'clock, we're going to have Buddy Chat, and that's 5 o'clock Mountain Time. I'll be here. I hope you're here too. Okay, bye-bye, everyone.